Welcome back to the Question Christ Project. My name's Pete, and this is for my man Flash. Flash is a longtime friend of mine, but only recently have we started discussing issues of faith. And I commend you, Flash, for asking such a great question, and I'm going to try to do some justice to it. It's a tough question, especially for people like us who have kids. So, Flash's question can be found on my main channel page, but basically the gist of it is, how can I believe in a God that would allow toddlers and young infants to be abused to the point of death at the hands of the very people who are supposed to be taking care of them, such as their parents, foster parents, family? So the first thing I'd have to say is, it sounds harsh, but God honors free will. I'm just going to read some notes that I have because I'm new to this, Flash. You gotta give me a break here. Come on. Why is this world so screwed up? Most people are living in direct rebellion against God. That's my belief. But God gives us that option. You know, God wants us to love Him, but He's not going to force us because that wouldn't be love. So we have the option. We have the option to opt out. We don't have to love Him. We can live for ourselves. We can live in direct rebellion against Him. And fortunately, that throws this world into chaos. And people who follow their sinful nature do terrible things. And that would go for these terrible parents, or foster parents, or anyone who is directly responsible for any tiny child and abuses it to death. So the example of beaten and killed children is horrible. It's more horrible when you see it in the perspective of this life being our only reality. I don't believe that. And I believe that these children who meet these tragic ends are with God and will never suffer another second in their lives. That doesn't, I can't make sense of it, but if you only believe that there's, just this world, it's even more horrific. I just want to go down another road that I'm sure most people would go down if they're watching this, and maybe Flash, you would say the next thing too, is, well, what other ways kids die? What happens when kids get terminal diseases? What happens when children suddenly die for no reason at all, like things like SIDS or other just freakish natural causes? Why do they die? There's a couple things I'd like to say about that. First is, I don't know. I would never try to excuse away a child's death by saying there must be some good that will come out of this, because I don't know what that would be. I do believe that people can be touched positively by tragic events, but I don't know the mind of God. And anybody who says that they know, you should run away from that person. Okay? No one knows directly the mind of God. And I'm sure atheists love me saying that, but you're going to hear that a lot. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The other thing I'd like to say is I have a daughter who's 2. She's the most precious thing in my life. And for those of you who have kids, you know what this is the truth. There's nothing that you love more than your children. The idea of anything tragically happening to my daughter is so painful to me. I shudder to think about it. I can't even comprehend it. It's like the minute you start thinking about it, you just shut it off because you just can't. You can't deal with it. But even though I love this child uncontrollably, she doesn't belong to me. I didn't create her. I had a hand in it, but I didn't give her life. God gave her life. And that goes for all of us. My daughter is entrusted to me and my wife while she is here on this earth, but she belongs to God, and we all belong to God. Even those who don't believe in God, He created you, and you belong to Him. You can choose to ignore Him, but you belong to Him. So this idea goes against everything parents feel. Like, she's my girl. She's daddy's little girl. I pray every day that God takes care of her. But if the horrific day ever came where I would lose her, which I don't even want to think about it, I would know that she'd be with God, and no other harm could ever come to her. It'd be beyond painful. I would be crushed. I think anyone who knows me, if that ever happened, I wouldn't be the same. I'd be absolutely crushed. But my perspective is we are all God's creation, and that God is the only one who has a right to claim us as his own, and therefore can take us from this life at any age, under any circumstance. Now this is just totally backwards thinking for this world. This world is just like, whoa, this is about me, it's about my kid, no one can tell me anything, I have the right to do whatever, and she is mine, and I own her. You don't. You don't. So, I'm sure I'm going to get a barrage of things about that. But if God is the creator, and he creates all, and he gives us all life, he can take us out of this life anytime. We are his creation. And even though we love people desperately, we don't own them. So that's it. It's kind of short and sweet flash, but that's all I got. But I'd love to hear more comments from you, and please keep the comments coming. And say hi to the girls for me. And thank you.